Hello and welcome to PLMR's Week Ahead in Westminster podcast. My name is Rob Comber, and over the next 5 minutes I'll be navigating you through a couple of the main talking points which look like they'll set the news agenda in the next 7 days. Coming up later on, we'll be looking at the new press commission and seeing whether it will actually achieve anything. But first, to the crises in Iraq and Syria. On Wednesday there'll be a full Commons debate on the situation in both of these countries. So joining me to discuss how the UK should best tackle the problem is Duane Menezes, the director of foreign policy think tank, the Human Security Centre. Do you think this debate on Wednesday is a long time coming?
Oh, absolutely. It was in June that ISIS first sort of took over Mosul. Now, the group has been around and a serious threat for over a year now. Since January, the threat has intensified. Since ISIS took over Mosul, we have been concerned about the British response, and we felt it wasn't sufficient. We asked for the recall of Parliament when the Yazidis were still trapped in Mount Sinjar. We asked for recall of Parliament when you had the Turkmen stuck under siege in Imoli. So yes, we do believe this is absolutely important. The Prime Minister and his government can make decisions, but this is a matter of national security, it's a matter of international security. Having the added legitimacy of Parliament's approval is important, and so the debate, I think, is quite useful.
What's the best solution that can come from this debate?
I think, number one, we really need to be careful not to overestimate the power of ISIS. They are a formidable enemy, but they're not an invincible enemy. What recent events have shown is that when you have effective and coordinated military action, like we did with the airstrikes, ISIS was vulnerable. The US airstrikes were able to help the Iraqi forces and the Kurdish forces take back, the dam in Mosul, take back towns in northern Iraq. Airstrikes are working. Coordinated military action is working, and so I do suppose that is the way forward. And what I hope would come out from this debate is that the UK considers airstrikes most seriously.
But is there not the worry that this is just another Iraq in 2003?
I think that is something ISIS would like us to believe, and we do have a very fertile segment of our population in which that seed is going to bear fruit. Unfortunately, so far the opinion polls are actually in support of intervention. Before the two beheadings of two US journalists, I think the 37% of this country were happy with the UK joining the US in airstrikes, and back then 36% were actually against it. Whereas after the beheadings, the percentage for airstrikes has gone up to about 47%, according to the YouGov poll, and only about 31% are against it. Should, God forbid, anything happen to a British hostage in Iraq, that percentage of the public opinion here that is for airstrikes is only going to increase.
Duane Menezes from the Human Security Centre, thank you for speaking to us. So there's a new press regulator, but will it make any difference? Well, alongside me now to answer that very question is Mike Ramsden. He's a former BBC journalist and presenter, and he's PLMR's head of broadcast. Why is there a new regulator?
Well, this goes back to the Leveson inquiry into press intrusion. And in his final report from that inquiry, Lord Leveson said the best solution to press regulation would be a body established and organised by the press, which is pretty much similar to what we have at the moment, the Press Complaints Commission, but which provides genuinely independent regulation of its members. And that genuine independence line is the difficult bit to get, really. Can a regulatory body funded by its members actually be genuinely independent? Well, the new organisation is called the Independent Press Standards Organisation. As you said, it begins work on Monday. The people involved there making the decisions, well, there's a very senior retired judge at the helm, Sir Alan Moses. People say he's no pushover at all. A wider range of people involved as well, so not just people from the media. There's the boss of Innocent Drinks, Richard Reed. There's a consumer champion in there as well. So it replaces the Press Complaints Commission from Monday, which most media watchers agree wasn't really independent enough and didn't really have enough power.
So I suppose the big question is, will it work? I mean, will it address the reasons that we had the Leveson inquiry in the first place?
That is the big question. There's also the big question of you've got to have everybody involved in it as well. And already there are a few problems. The Guardian, the Financial Times, And the independents, so that's the Indie and also the Evening Standard, they've not signed up to this. They're going for a wait-and-see approach at the moment. The Guardian says it's concerned about the royal charter element of this. That was designed to make the regulator really independent, but they're worried it could in fact have the opposite effect. So ultimately the IPSO will be judged by its actions. It has more teeth than the PCC. It can levy fines of up to £1 million, and as I said, it's made up of people from a wider cross-section of expertise, but it still needs those big news organisations to be on board to really to be a success.